Hi everyone, Vincent Nguyen here for SlashGear. This here is the new HTC Rezound running on Verizon's super fast LTE network. The Rezound has a 4.3-inch display that has a resolution of 1280 by 720 Super LCD. The Rezound features 2.35 Android and powered by a Qualcomm 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor. It has a 1 gigabyte DDR2 RAM, which makes it super fast in terms of allowing you to load up a bunch of apps and not get bogged down. It also comes with a 16 gigabyte memory pre-installed. I know I mentioned that it runs Android 2.35, I'm sorry, either 2.35 or 2.34. HTC has confirmed that in early 2012, it will be upgraded to Android 4.0, which is also known as Ice Cream Sandwich. On the back is an 8 megapixel camera shooting 1080p dual LED flash. It is Beats branded, meaning that it's enhanced for your listening enjoyment. There's a speaker, mic for noise cancellation. On the top left is a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, power button. On the right hand side is an extremely flush volume rocker. Another mic towards the bottom on the right hand side, that's also for noise cancellation. There is a micro USB / HDMI through MHL port on the left hand side for charging and syncing. And then on the left hand side there's, I believe, another mic right here. On the front is a 2 megapixel camera. It also shoots 720. These capacitive buttons, there's a home, menu, back, and search. It is running Sense, which is a basically a UI on top of Android 2.3 developed by HTC. On the left hand side there's a soft button or soft key, if you will, that will bring up all the apps. And you can go through frequently downloaded Verizon. There's a phone soft button and a personalized soft button. Here you've got your widgets, your apps, shortcut folder, and there are a number of customization you can set, such as the different lock screen, for example, clock, friend stream, photo, whatnot. The one I have is the photo stream. So with that, you can pick a certain gallery and it displays the images for you. One of my favorite features on HTC Sense is if you want to make a phone call, you drag the icon here to this ring. You want to take a picture, quick access basically, and these are all programmable in the personalized menu. It's really neat. I like it a lot. So speaking of camera, like I said, it's 8 megapixel and it shoots 1080p. There are a lot of different options that you can choose. It is an f2.2, which means that it's super fast. You can shoot, in theory, better pictures in low light. There are a number of effects you can pick from. Let's see here. Let's do this one, dots. That's kind of fun. Takes pictures really quickly. You can switch between photo and video. And there's also main and front cameras. There are different widgets that you can set, such as calendars and whatnot. This is the calendar app that is pre-installed on HTC Sense. Overall, it's not the thinnest smartphone or Android phone on the market. It comes in at the thickest point, which is 13.6 millimeter, and it tapers in towards the edges, as you can see here. it feels really nice in your hand. I almost prefer it over, well actually I do prefer it over the Motorola Droid Razr that just came on the market today on the 11th of November. It's super thin, but it's also super wide and tall. So when you're holding it, it is a little bit harder to grip, as you can see, and reaching around the display is harder for your thumbs versus on a 4.3-inch device with a thinner bezel than the Droid Razr. How does it compare to the HTC Maze 4G? Almost the same. The material is a little bit different. Also, they both have 8 megapixel shooters. Rezound has beats and the Maze 4G doesn't, but the one thing that the Maze 4G does have or do have are the 2 buttons for recording and quick button for the camera. I was told, or I have seen in the press material, that the Rezound is capable of charging wirelessly. I believe that's what these pins are for. I'm not sure. But I have the power mat and the Energizer key, but none of them seem to work with the Rezound. And HTC is yet to get back with me on my question, so we'll see what they have to say in the next day or two. There's a 1620 milliamp battery. As I mentioned before, there's a 16 gig memory card pre-installed. All the antennas are hooked onto the case itself here, so kind of neat in a way. And of course, you can see the inner workings on the inside behind the case here. Okay. How does it compare to the Samsung Galaxy S? Obviously, this is a 720 HD display, and it's just super gorgeous. In terms of the Galaxy S, this is a Galaxy S on AT&T, and it has a 4.5-inch display, Super AMOLED Plus, but the resolution is only 800 by 480, I believe, versus 1280 by 720. So in that case, I almost prefer the higher resolution over the lower resolution. Same 8 megapixel camera shooting at 1080p. Overall, it is thinner, but then again, it is a little bit wider. So it's up to you in terms of what works best for you. Now, I want to recommend the Rezound with the caution that Google and Samsung is about to release the Galaxy Nexus. Galaxy Nexus is going to be the first phone to feature a Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich. It has a 4.6-inch display. However, there are no more capacitive buttons, so the device itself is relatively the same size as, say, the Rezound, with a larger display, also 720 resolution. So it's also going to be available on Verizon. We just don't know when yet. The international launch date is supposedly on the 17th. I've heard of the 21st. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So it's up to you if you want to run to the store and get the Rezound when it's available. Let me see here. On the 14th for there's no price on here, but I believe it's $299. And one thing I also want to point out is the iBeats headset. These are kind of cool. There's a play, receive, call, fast forward, rewind button. So, if this is your thing, this might work out really well for you. There are a number of different earpieces that might be more to your liking, depending on the size of your ear. And this is the case that comes with it. Really nice. So that's it for this walkthrough of the Rezound on Verizon LTE network. Make sure to check on SlashGear for my full review. Thanks again for watching. Once again, this is Vincent Nguyen.